Marilyn Monroe posing for Earl Moran to be used as model to draw posters, 1946. A former Auschwitz concentration camp inmate picks up his glasses from a large pile of glasses taken from prisoners, 1945. A behind-the-scenes photo from Jurassic Park in 1992. C. 1939 Wyoming. Two young women pulling ropes around the neck of a snowman. Welsh woman washing her mine-working husband, 1931. Members of the Fleetway House Golfing Society play with a giant golf ball on the putting green in 1928. Tiger Woods at one of his first meetings with Nike after signing for around $40 million at 20 years old, 1996. Monica Bellucci, 1980s. Women's work relief loading parcels into a car in central Oslo as part of a voluntary relief effort that supported families and children in Norway during a period of economic hardship, 1940. A Lango man with pointed, filed incisors. Photographed by Cecil John Hackett. Sia, 1937. Palestinian children play in the ruins of the Waidat refugee camp, September 1970. Christmas Day, 1981. Seen in this photo is Carrie Rawson and her father Dennis Rader, better known to the world as BTK. Someone is in Trouble, 1960s. A train driver inspects a bridge collapsed under a locomotive. Canada, 1926. Man with giant knife and fork made for the bicentennial. Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania, 1876. German soldiers pose on a Ju-52 transport plane after it made an emergency landing. Norway, 1940. Elvis Presley's father inspecting his service medals at his famous mansion Graceland. Presley rose to the rank of sergeant during his service, 1960. Amsterdam, 1928. These were the first Olympic Games in which women were allowed to compete in athletics events. Tourists from the West checking out an East German bodyguard, 1980s, East Germany. The Arctic 105 years ago versus today. Sylvester Stallone and his father and brother Frank at his graduation from high school in 1965. An attempt to travel by snowmobile from Moscow to St. Petersburg in the spring of 1912. (1970s). David Bowie in his iconic stage costume designed by Japanese designer Kansai Yamamoto. An Inupiat woman. Her name is Kaptana, and she is the second wife of the shaman Uluksak. The Inupiat are one of the indigenous Eskimo peoples. School children line up for the free issue of soup and a slice of bread during the Depression, 1934. Winston Churchill, 1874-1965, pictured on the right, as First Colonel, commanding the Royal Scots Fusiliers wearing a trench coat, standing with Sinclair at Armentières, February 1916. Federico Fellini directs Marcello Mastroianni in the film 812, 1963. Aloysia Wagner, born 1906, aka Violetta, was a famous German sideshow performer. She was born with tetra amelia syndrome, which caused a lack of arms and legs. Laura Petty, a 6-year-old berry picker, on Jenkins Farm in Maryland, 1909. A turkey wrapped up in a blanket and scarf to keep it warm and free from colds and chills. 7th December, 1950. Weyerhaeuser, 19-mile camp in Kidd Valley, Washington. The yard was flooded by the Toutle River following the eruption of Mount St. Helens, 1980. Anne Hathaway, performing in a high school production of the play Camelot at Seton Hall Prep in 1997. Dolores Lolita LeBron, after carrying out an armed attack on the United States Capitol, 1954. Aerial photo of Oklahoma City bombing site, April 27, 1995. Dog named Laika. In 1957, she was launched into space by a Russian-led team that had no plans for her to ever return. Mermaid show at Weeki Wachee Springs State Park. Mermaids practicing their elaborate underwater routines. Spring Hill, Florida, 1940s. Antanas Sutkus, youth playing on a motorcycle in Lithuania, 1974. An improvised armored car of French partisans in Nice, 1944. Spectators at a Huntington Beach surfing contest, 1962. James A. Garfield shortly before being inaugurated as the 20th President of the United States, 1881. A bus lies in a crater in Balham, South London, after a bombing raid. World War II. This kid is a water heater for Halloween, circa 1979. Wedding on a collective farm, Soviet Union. A wounded soldier, severely burned, lies in an American hospital in Normandy, 1944. Mom uses a trash can to contain her baby while she crochets in the park, 1969. Kurt Cobain and Flea in the 90s. A bus crashed into a lamppost on Wimbledon Common in London on December 30, 1938. The three siblings Eunice, John F., Rosemary Kennedy posing for a portrait. 2 years before Rosemary lobotomy, 1939. April 30, 1971, Amsterdam, Queen's Day. Steam man invented by Zadok P. Dederick and Isaac Grass in 1868. This interesting contraption was meant to pull a small carriage using the steam generated by the boiler in its chest. 4 Japanese tourists pose at the Halekulani Hotel on Waikiki Beach with a native Hawaiian and his long surfboard, 1930. Uniform of Polish officer, victim of Katyn massacre, found during German exhumation. Katyn, German-occupied Russia, 1943. The world's first automated teller machine, unveiled in San Francisco, California, on October 25, 1966. Young lady hold a spear-sized icicle at the door of her apartment, Schenectady, New York, 1956. Union Private Marshal Sherman posing by the 28th Virginia battle flag, captured by the 1st Minnesota Infantry Regiment at the Battle of Gettysburg, 1864. UPS worker delivers packages during the 9/11 attacks in New York. Last traditionally tattooed Maori women before the Tamoko tattoos were outlawed by British colonialists, 1890-1910. A man from the Manusela people, also known as the Wahai people, an ethnic group originating from the Manusela Mountains of North Seram in Maluku, Indonesia, 1925. Bear cub Ika and girl Veronica Ladina, Franz Josef Land, Heise Island, 1974. An estimated 20,000 people turned out for an opposing demonstration showing support for the government of Bakhtiar. Here, a soldier waves the Iranian flag in Tehran on Feb 9, 1979. Mother and Child, Jemez Pueblo, New Mexico, United States, early 20th century. Residents of the Murmansk region welcome Fidel Castro at the airbase airfield. Elizabeth Taylor, 1950s. Teenagers affected by radiation exposure from the Chernobyl disaster waiting for medical treatment in Cuba, 1986. Auto wreck, United States, 1923. Brigitte Bardot at the absolute beginning of what was to be a legendary career. She had begun what might have been a career in ballet after enrolling at the Conservatoire de Paris. Venki shaman Fyodor Polygus, photograph taken by Alexei Alexeyevich Makarenko, an ethnographer and Siberian specialist, during the 1907-1908 expedition. Two children wearing scary masks for Halloween. Bookmobile traveling to sparsely populated areas of northwestern Ontario, Canada, in order to increase literacy amongst rural children in 1958. Allied soldiers stand on a window at the bombed-out remains of Hitler's Berghof residence, Berchtesgaden, Germany, 1945. Apollo 1 crew crossing the access arm to the command module on January 27, 1967. Kelly LeBrock 80s. Mermaid show at Weeki Wachee Springs State Park. A mermaid performer eats grapes during a performance in 1949. Spring Hill, Florida. French soldiers interrogate a prisoner at the Vaihingen concentration camp, 1945. SS Falaba torpedoed by the German U-boat U-28, 1915. Africa, 3 native women, c. 1912. Children watch as rubble is cleared in bomb-damaged Metz, 1940. The Chicago Cubs with their mascot, Chicago, Illinois, 1908. Iranian Revolution key political figures taking a souvenir photo while Shah's statue is being torn down in the background in a square in Tehran, 1979. Medical examination of children in besieged Leningrad, 1942. Celine Dion meeting Princess Diana along back then. Prince Charles, Canada's Prime Minister Brian Mulroney and his wife Mila, 1991. During the Cultural Revolution in China, 1960s, a woman accused of being a property owner is forced to sit on a chair in the center of Red Guard Square in Harbin. A football game near Red Square, Moscow, 1958. U.S. soldier's clear grip M1911 pistol containing a picture of his loved one, a practice appropriately known as sweetheart grips, 1940s. Suffragettes hand out leaflets about the upcoming parade. Suffragettes march in Washington for women's rights, March 3, 1913. Jaws inspects the Halloween loot, 1976. Soviet aircraft carrier Varyag under tow through the Bosphorus, Nav 2001, bought by a Hong Kong shell company for $20 as a floating casino. She became the Chinese Liaoning after a 15,000-mile odyssey. In 1993, this ocean liner was being towed when the line snapped during a storm. The crew were unable to reattach the line and had to be rescued. It was adrift in the ocean and eventually beached itself in the Canary Islands. Goldie Hawn, late 1960s. Knee-high socks, fashion 1970s. Tenant farmer moving his household goods to a new farm, Hamilton County, Tennessee, 1937. Parisians waving at the Santos Dumont 6 airship, which won its inventor the Premio Deutsch Award for traveling from Parc St. Cloud to the Eiffel Tower and back in under 30 minutes, 1901. Joy Lansing, 1959. American aircraft bombed Tokyo, Japan, 1945. Chief Eagle, Atuem Elam Wh Skill M Me, of the Salish of the Flathead Reservation, Montana, 1906. A chimney sweep and his assistant, London C. 1877. Soldier poses next to a huge 400 mm artillery shell. World War I 5. A Haitian officer in the late 1880s. Four Indian porters carry a Western tourist in a palanquin. India, 1922. An elephant attempts to use a phone booth, 1971. A logger trims the top of a tree in British Columbia, 1920s. In March 1936, a mother from Alton, Hampshire, captured the spirit of rural British life in a simple yet enduring scene, walking to the shops with her children and a pet sheep in tow. Greek gendarmes in traditional uniform, October 21, 1913, autochrome. Sid Vicious poses for a photo with his mother, 1977. French soldiers bury a comrade killed in action near Mount Belvedere in Italy, 1944. Clergy pose in ceremonial robes in front of the cathedral in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, June 1931. African student in USSR. Resident of Oak Island on the coast of North Carolina, walks next to a house that was destroyed by strong winds and the rising surf produced when Hurricane Floyd touched down a few miles north, 1999. Tide tops, fashion, 1970s. Methods used by the United States Army to mark stragglers and deserters. France, 5th of November, 1918. Kent State University during a demonstration against the Vietnam War. The Ohio National Guard fired tear gas to disperse the crowd of students gathered on the Commons on May 4, 1970. Czechoslovak T-55 tanks test the strength of Prague's Nuselki, most bridge 2 years prior to its opening, November 1970. Shirley Temple holding her first daughter, Linda Susan Agar, in 1948, alongside her husband John Agar. This is lawn chair Larry Walters taking to the skies in 1982. He had attached 42 weather balloons to a garden chair and floated to 16,000 feet above Los Angeles. The FAA fined him. His chair is now in the Smithsonian. Wojtek, the World War II, soldier bear being fed by a soldier. Sanatorium for lung diseases in Wieliczka salt mine, Poland, 1970s. President Park Chung-hee with farmers and other officials in transplanting rice seedlings during the 17th Annual Farmers' Day at the Kimpo District, 1965. A boy and a girl examine bombs at the British Pavilion for the 1939 New York World's Fair. Soul Train Dancers, c. 1977. Residents of Svantogorje greet Hungarian troops after their annexation to Hungary in 1940. Bedouin and his camel, late 19th century. Confederate Columbiad guns of the water battery at Warrenton, Florida, to Pensacola Bay, February 1861. "13-year-old Eric Smith on trial for the 1993 New Yorker." Robin Williams and Richard Pryor, 1995. Michael Jackson show visible signs of vitiligo in the 1990s.